What's good, everybody? It's your boy Timmy2 and welcome to the first ever Let Him Cook, brought to you by Ajinomoto. Now for this episode or whatever, I'll be making sauerkraut. Now sauerkraut isn't really something that people would always eat, especially here in Malaysia. But since this is for a past project and whatever, I'll be making it today. So for the recipe, it's very simple. Sauerkraut only requires a cabbage and salt. Now we will be using pink Himalayan salt. We will not be using no cheap white basic ass salt. Pause that. Page 18. We won't be using any cheap white salt or whatever. So we'll be using the Richie pink salt. Period. Okay, we don't use no white salt in this house. Okay. First, we will need to cut up this cabbage. This cabbage is washed. How do I cut? Okay, you know what? Hold on. We got a meat cleaver right here. Okay, and I ain't just showing up no skills here, but we're gonna do this off camera. Okay. So, in click clap, bada bing, bada boom. Ta-da! See, it's all chopped up, very thinly, I guess. But well, this is only some of it. The other cut is in this basin. Can you see that? Basin. Okay. That's the rest of the cabbage. So we put this in here. So we have our finely chopped cabbage. I think I did a good job at it. First time cutting cabbage. We're going to put in our salt. How much did the recipe say? I'm not sure. You know what? We're going to put. This is 1 teaspoon, 1 tablespoon. So we will put like 3 tablespoons in, more or less. So we're going to put in the salt. So what the salt does is that it brings out the moisture from the cabbages. And once the moisture comes out, you can undergo a process which you call, is this 3 or 4? 3 or 4 spoons, I guess. Okay. So when the moisture is drawn out from the cabbages, it'll cause a process which is called. It's similar to pickling. Well, it's the same thing as pickling because it's called lactic acid fermentation, which is caused by lactic acid bacteria. Science. So, after mixing the cabbages with the salt, we're going to leave it inside this basin for around 20 minutes so then the salt can do its job to bring out the moisture. Then, I'll see you back then.
20 minutes later.
It's been 20 minutes and now some of the water from the cabbage has been drawn out. If you could see, I'm not sure if you can see, but if you can see, the cabbage is now wet and there's water at the bottom of the basin. So after this, we're going to need to crush the cabbages to draw more water out. So we're going to crush the cabbage with this big, thick. Let me stop. I'm playing. Without further ado, let's crush this bitch. Pause. So while I'm crushing this, let's just tell you a backstory or whatever. So sauerkraut is based from Europe, and if I'm not mistaken, it's originally from Germany, I think. And people will usually eat this for health issues because it's said that the sauerkraut, the lactic acid bacteria from sauerkraut provides probiotics. So for people in Germany to keep up with their health, they will usually eat sauerkraut. They usually eat it with they eat it as a side dish. They put it in casseroles or meats like sausages. So yeah, that's mostly the backstory of the sauerkraut. I'm going to continue crushing this until the sauerkraut is all wet and more water comes out. So I'll come back to y'all when it's done. Okay.
Many minutes later.
Okay, I've done crushing the cabbages, and more water seems to come out of it. Can you see? Well, since I used pink salt, the liquid that came out of it is pink. Can you see that? Not really, whatever. Okay. So now that I've done crushing it, we're going to put it inside. Spoon or fork. Okay, we're going to put it inside this airtight jar. It has to be airtight though. So what the airtight jar does is that it creates a anaerobic environment. This anaerobic environment, which is efficient for lactic acid bacteria to grow in. Voila! We have our sauerkraut. So we're going to close this. So we put this airtight, and we're going to keep it inside the fridge. It says that optimum environment for lactic acid bacteria to grow in is about 15 degrees Celsius, which is about the fridge temperature. It also has to be dark and anaerobic, no air, no oxygen or whatever. So we're going to put this in the jar, and it says on the recipe that it's supposed to be like at least 2 weeks for it to ferment, but you know, we ain't got time for that. So we'll try to put it in the jar for 1 week and see how it does. Okay, so see you in a week.
1 week later.
안녕하세요. It's been a week, and this is our sauerkraut. Like, if you can see, it's like it's been wilted, withered, wilted. It's been wilted, and you see the water down here. The water here is pink, mostly because of the pink salt that I used. So you can see how the texture is. The texture of the cabbage is still quite tough. It's not as soft. Maybe because it's only been 1 week, where the optimum time for sauerkraut to ferment is usually about 2 weeks minimum. So maybe it does require more time, but ooh, the smell. What the So maybe I won't do a taste test. Should I do a taste test? Ooh, Lord have mercy. Maybe you guys. Maybe my classmates in class could try this, but I might not want to try it. Just for my own safety. I can't do no suicide here, okay? So yeah, so that's basically it. So it should be minimum 2 weeks, as most recipes say. So yeah, because like more time, like the mechanism of this fermentation process is that when you put the salt with cabbages, it excretes the water from the cabbages, so it creates like a brine, what you call it. So it creates like an optimum environment for lactic acid bacteria to grow, and also prevents mold and yeast from growing. So that like mold and yeast is bad, whereas like lactic acid bacteria is like a good bacteria, which is good for fermentation. And when more lactic acid bacteria grows, it will consume the sugars from the cabbages, which makes it wilted, yes, wilted, which makes it wilted and soft, and it also excretes like carbon dioxide, acetic acids, and also some alcohols. Especially since this is an airtight jar, which is in anaerobic condition. So all that makes this. But this is only 1 week. It should be at least 2 weeks or even more. So yeah, so that's basically it from me. So, you know, that's all from me. Peace out. Oh, I can't say that word. So okay, peace. Okay.
Bye.
Bloop.